Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro City government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and with me today, as always, it's a Monday morning, Rosemary Blyman.
It might not be Monday for those listening.
It may not.
So happy day to you.
Happy day to you.
Yes. Okay, we know you're busy. We know everybody is busy again. The busyness is back, right? After the slowdown of COVID.
It seems busier.
It does, because it came back like a tidal wave, and I thought we were going to ease into it. That's for another day, though. We'll talk about that. You know, actually, though, now is a really great time to add a simple something to your to-do list. Okay, and this not only helps others, but can make you feel pretty good, too. April is National Volunteer Month, and there are no shortage of ways to get involved in Greensboro. One of the easiest is a simple gesture. Julia Osborne is National Program Coordinator. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
So
we appreciate
glad
it.
to have you here. Yeah, so tell us, what is a simple gesture?
So A Simple Gesture is an organization here in Greensboro that helps the food pantries stay stocked. So we, for example, if you were to volunteer to be a donor, we would give you this handy-dandy reusable grocery bag. Mm-hmm. Every other month, you fill it full of non-perishable groceries, set it out on your porch, and then we send a volunteer driver around on a particular day to pick up those non-perishable groceries and take them to the food pantries. So that's what we do. We keep the food pantry stocked.
That's a good thing.
And tell us a little the history of the organization, because I think that's interesting, too.
Yeah, sure. We started this wonderful man named Jonathan Trivers started this organization in Paradise, California. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of interesting. He was having a dinner party, and he's, I think, from Sweden. And that afternoon before his dinner party, he'd heard a story on the news about hunger in the U.S., and he was saying, how can there be hungry people in such an affluent nation? Mm-hmm. And was absolutely outraged. So when he had his dinner party that evening, he gave everybody a grocery bag and said, I'm coming to your house tomorrow, fill this full of groceries, and I'm going to pick this up and take it to the food pantry. So it started as really totally a grassroots, one guy with his friends getting things started. And then in 2016, a local businessman was reading a Wall Street Journal article about Jonathan Trivers and his story, and he thought, we can do this here in Greensboro. That was the year that Greensboro was named the hungriest city in the nation.
Right.
And so he got together with his friends from Westminster Presbyterian Church, and they got it started. So they got it started here. Then Paradise, California burned down, and Jonathan Trivers contacted us to say, hey, would you guys sort of be the flagship for the nation? And now we have 63 chapters around the U.S.
Cool.
They're getting started in Forsyth County and in Asheville here in North Carolina. We're starting one in Thailand. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a simple idea. We kind of joke that, it's the perfect volunteer opportunity for an introvert. You never have to interact with anybody,
simple.
whether
Yeah.
you're a driver or a donor. Yeah, it's very simple.
Simple yet impactful, and that's what's important here.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
So what are ways to help? I mean, what are ways that we can help?
Thank you for asking. I will tell you right now, we have a need for drivers, people who would volunteer to go around and pick up some of the groceries off of the porches. In High Point especially, we've experienced phenomenal growth, and which is a great problem to have, right? We've experienced phenomenal growth in High Point. All the food that we pick up in High Point stays in High Point. Okay. And so we're kind of needing drivers there. But anywhere, we need drivers, and we always need donors. So if you're willing to fill up a reusable grocery bag every other month and put it out on your porch, we'd love to have you.
That's easy. It's easy to do. Okay, so it's National Volunteer Month. So let's talk about volunteering, and particularly families. So when is a good time to start children volunteering, and what are some easy ways to do that?
Sure, that's a great question. I don't think it's ever too young to instill in a child that sense of altruism and helping people who need help. So starting them young, just even like we do, right? Sharing toys
Right.
and all of that stuff. Some of the, like, for example, we have a lot of drivers who drive their routes with their kids in car seats in the
Nice.
back.
That's a great idea.
So it's lovely, and the
Yeah.
Good
kids
time for a nap.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And you get to sing and just chat like you do. Those
Yeah.
chats you have with your kids in the back of the car. So,
And then, of course, just going and filling those bags.
Yeah.
At the grocery store, what are things that you would
Yes.
want to eat?
Exactly.
And,
I wasn't even
the
thinking about
applesauce
that. I blanked
and the
out on
mac
that.
and cheese and all of
Yeah,
those things that are
exactly.
really popular pantry items, too.
yes, they're
For
perfect
families.
And that's especially what we like to do. We do kind of focus on children because we know if kids are hungry, they can't learn in school. And
That's
then
right.
if they don't learn in school, they have a hard time later in life. So we really try to focus on childhood hunger and also helping make sure that teachers have snack pantries
Right.
in their classrooms. So absolutely looking for, what do you want when you get hungry at school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julia, what are your earliest memories of volunteering, and how did you get involved with A Simple Gesture?
Oh, well, that's fun. I grew up, I was from a churchy family. So we grew up,
Just Yep.
like you do. I mean,
I know what you mean.
It's so baked in. It's almost kind of like asking a fish what is water.
Right.
That's just how I grew up. So
Yeah.
I like that. And then I got involved in A Simple Gesture I met Leslie Isikoff serendipitously at the TED event,
Okay.
TEDx Greensboro 3 years ago. And she has such a compelling message, and I wanted to do what she was doing. So, yeah. And my passion is public education.
Okay.
So, the thought of helping kids be fed, well fed when they go to school, because I do understand that they can't learn if they're not.
Oh, absolutely.
And you saw it firsthand, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you put into context just how important volunteers are to A Simple Gesture?
Well, sure. We have a very skeletal staff, probably 4 full-time employees, which is literally exponentially higher than we used to be. But without volunteers, we couldn't do what we do at all. We would have no drivers. We would have no food. We would have no mission. So without volunteers, we are dead in the water.
If people are interested in volunteering or more information about Simple Gesture, where do they go? What's the best place to get all the information?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. It's almost like you knew to ask that.
I've been hanging around Rosemary a lot.
Go to our website, asimplegesture.gso.org, and you can find out anything you want to find out and send us an email, and we can get right back to you.
All right. Thanks for spending some time with us
Yeah,
today. We
thanks
really
for being our
appreciate
guest.
it.
So much for having me.
Absolutely.
And we want to remind you also, if you're interested in other volunteer opportunities, you can go to volunteercentertriad.org. It is National Volunteer Month. No act is too small to make a difference in our community.
That's right. Thanks again, Julia.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN's available on Spectrum Channel 13
AT&T U-verse Channel 99.
and North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
At greensboro-nc.gov.
Take care.